Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Lloyd and I source cars for people on a professional basis. Although most of the cars I source are between £1,000 and £5,000, very often I've been asked to show something a little bit cheaper on the channel, and so I came up with No Budget Reviews, the series where we look at cars that you can buy in good condition with an MOT for under £1,000 and you can enjoy driving. We don't film this in an expensive manner, we don't use separate microphones, we don't use fluid head tripods, we don't even use a DSLR, but we do have a lot of fun.
So here we are, viewers, at the inaugural Lloyd Vehicle Consulting Social, and wow, we've got some delights to film today. First of which is this 1997 Renault Mégane Coupé 1.6 Fidji Special Edition. The Fidji Special Edition actually has quite a few differences over the standard 1.6 Mark 1 Mégane Coupés, such as these alloy wheels and electric windows. This colour is also unique to the special edition for 1.6 engines. It was normally found on the 2 litre models. Obviously the Mégane Coupé is quite a rare car now. I mean, the standard Méganes are rare enough, and so are the Mégane Classic, but this is a particularly rare car. It's owned by Mark from the Mark on Motoring YouTube channel. I'll put a link to that in the description below. And he's just recommissioned it. And he's done a fantastic job of it, actually. One of the things I can see straight away is that we've got...
Hello, Mr. Lloyd. Very nice car.
Mr. Quirk is here from Planet Auto as well. We'll be seeing him again later. One of the things I noticed straight away of the other Méganes I've filmed is we've got remote central locking on this car. And we've got all sorts of other luxury features. Yes, we've got electric windows. We've got a 4-spoke steering wheel. This car's also got the original tape deck, and the only thing I can notice straight away we haven't got is actually air conditioning. Air conditioning was an option on these cars, but this doesn't have it. It's very, very blue. It's very, very 1990s. We've also got a rev counter, which here we haven't seen for a while. We've got the standard Renault stereo remote controls, which is very good. Not a passenger airbag, but we do have a driver's airbag. You can see if the glove box, it probably would be big enough for secret mission documents if it wasn't full of cassette tapes. Yes, viewers, cassette tapes. Something which seems to feature quite a lot on the channel as of late. Everything's sort of colour-coded. 5-speed manual in this. There was an automatic option, I believe, on some of the other trims, not on this Fidji edition as far as I know. Same kind of 90s style door fabric that's sort of gone baggy, a bit like a Rover 45. Electric windows as well, very posh indeed. And a variable speed intermittent wipe. Oh, yes, luxury. And an electric sunroof too. We might not need that today. The weather's cooled down a bit, so possibly not need that today. I think I'm going to try to get in the back, viewers. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. We'll have to see. Right, viewers, this might be a terrible idea, but here we go. These little catches do sort of come off sometimes as well. The driver's one of this car has come off, so I'm going to have to be a bit careful. Got a nice little moulded area in the middle there. I think it's a storage point. Won't have to get in the back to actually adjust that. Right, here we go. Let's see if this is possible. Okay. Oh. Well, if the passenger seat's all the way forward, I actually fit in here. That's remarkable, actually. And if I sit like that, I've got enough headroom as well. Again, slightly baggy door cards, no surprise there. This car's actually got, looks like that's a lumbar support as well. It's interesting. to the driver. Does that come open? Yeah, more tapes! More tapes! Oh, viewers. Yeah, as long as you haven't got a driver who's too tall, and if that were me driving, it would go back even further. It's actually okay. The seatbelt height adjuster is just there. Mark has put it up all the way, which is where I like it too. That's very, very good of him. It's actually not a hatchback. It's really a sort of, I don't know, a two-door. And the hull, look, there's the famous Renault locking button just there. Right, let's have a look in the famous boot. I think these alloy wheels are quite smart. As far as I understand it, they're unique to this model, and yeah, they're quite nice. Right, 288 litres of space. It's not a hatchback, viewers. We've got a rear wiper, but this is not a hatchback. It is actually a two-door, and I think loading stuff into here is probably akin to posting things into a post box. The access is not very good. There's no rear folding seats either in this. It's a fixed thing. I suppose that's the price you pay for these looks. They could have probably put a hatchback on this. I don't know why they didn't. It doesn't make any sense to me, but you know, there we go. Just see how it closes. It's the tiniest little thing. It's really strange. The back of it looks quite nice. The rear lights are, again, unique to this car. They don't look anything like the rear lights on the classic saloon or the 5-door hatchback sort of versions of these at all. Okay, let's have a look at the engine. So this is the 1.6 energy engine, which in this case develops 90 horsepower. It's an 8-valve version of the engine. The facelifted cars, which came in the spring of 1999, actually have a 16-valve version of this engine, which is 110 horsepower. Remarkably easy to see everything. I mean, there's the gearbox just down there. It's the first energy engine that I've seen without cam cover gasket leaks. I mean, it's very, very clean in here. I think Mark has detailed this, and he's done a fantastic job. It looks absolutely brilliant under here. Strut brace as well. I think that was standard actually on these. The only thing I would say is that battery looks quite hard to get out, but I think there's just a plastic panel you can take out if you need to change it. And there we have the pre-facelift styling as well, which most people do prefer to the post-facelift one of these. I think I'm on the fence about that, really. Right, let's go for a little drive. So off we go, viewers. Do apologise for the mount shaking a little bit. That's just the way it goes on this channel, I'm afraid. So the engine's available in the Mark 1 Mégane Coupé are this 1.6 8-valve, which develops 90 horsepower. This was only available in the pre-facelift models, rather like the 8-valve 2-litre that produced 115 horsepower. That's the Renault F-type engine, actually. That 1.6 is a slightly different type of engine. The other option was the crazy 2-litre 150 horsepower engine, which came straight out of the Renault Clear Williams. Now those were fast, very fast. That's a 16-valve unit. When the car was facelifted in the spring of 1999, the engine lineup changed. There was a 1.4 litre engine with 16 valves that replaced the 1.6, actually developed more power, 95 horsepower. Then the 1.6 was upgraded with 16 valves to 110 horsepower. The 2 litre actually was only replaced by one 2 litre unit as opposed to two, and that was called the IDE unit. That developed 140 horsepower, it's a little bit less than the 150. I don't believe that there were any diesel options in the Mégane Coupé, but anyway, as usual, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. here we are just on the boundary of the New Forest, and on a road that can best be described as a bit bumpy. And actually the suspension of this car is quite soft. It's got quite a nice exhaust note actually. I know it's the same engine as in the Mégane Classic that we did a no budget reviews a bit earlier in the year, but it feels, this car, maybe this car weighs a bit less, I don't know. It feels perfectly adequate. Steering is a little on the vague side. It's not the most precise steering I've ever driven in a sporty coupe, but that's no problem really. The seats are very, very comfortable. They're very soft, which of course is nice if you you know, want long distance comfort. Yes, it's most agreeable really, viewers. I think that's the word I would use. It's most agreeable. Yeah, it's pretty easy to drive. The gear change possibly isn't the sportiest I've ever used, but it's absolutely fine. Right, I think it's time that we switch the camera around and use a different view. Trim levels available in one of these Mégane Coupés. Dynamique Plus, Expression, Fidji, like this one. The ID Monaco, I presume that was with the facelift of the 140 horsepower 2-litre ID engine. ID Sport Alizé, Monaco, Privilège Plus, Sport and Sport Alizé. One of the things I'm noticing about this car is the amount of light in here, but it's really helped by the sunroof, but the windows are generally quite big for a little coupe like this. Oh, I think I'm going to have to make a sporting manoeuvre out here, viewers. Yes, I am. Here we go. I'm in a 30 limit, viewers, so don't worry, we're not doing anything irresponsible. That wouldn't be in the nature of a channel anyway. Yeah, the gear change has got a bit of a long throw on it, but it's actually pretty good. This car's done over 100,000 miles, and it really doesn't feel like it. It feels really quite tight considering the age of the car. I mean, it's coming up to 25 years old, and yeah, I'm really appreciating the comfort of this seat, and just the fact that it's very easy to drive. I'm sure that's one of the reasons why they sold so many of them, was because they were nice and compact and easy to drive and comfortable. It's funny, you know, having driven 3 Méganes of this era now. First Jude's 1.4 RN Paris 5-door, then Mr. Bill from Rolls Wheels 1.6 RN Liberté Classic, and then this, to compare all of them. And yes, I'm very happy that I have. I mean, the mount might be shaking around all over the place, but that's just the way it goes on this channel. Like the fact that you can actually see the mount. It's quite fun, this, really. Quite like it. Don't know about the colour though, it's a little bit too extrovert for me. I'd like it maybe a nice dark green. But then you already knew that. So viewers, the Mark 1 Renault Mégane Coupé, is this something you should consider with your budget of under £1,000? Well, I mean, if you can find one, there's not many of these around anymore, really. Then why not? They're quite easy to work on. They're pretty reliable actually. You've got to make sure you change the cam belt on this engine, but that's the same for a lot of engines like this. This car that Mark has is in remarkable condition actually for the age of it, and I can see why he really likes it. Other than that, general observations are the same as the 2 other Mégane models that I've covered on the channel. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed for watching this episode of No Budget Reviews. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, especially for, you know, more reviews from this social event. There will be another one of these coming up at some point too, so maybe be informed of that as well. And yeah, social media links are down below, and thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching.